Good morning, world. Oh, fuck, my hair's all sticking up all over the place. Holy shit. That's crazy hair. Good morning. How's the world doing? How's everybody in the world doing? I hope your Friday was a wonderful one. I hope nothing bad happened, and I hope you had a good time. And you had fun, you went out and did stuff and all that kind of thing. Me, I did my daily running around and didn't do any video yesterday or nothing. Yesterday was my day where I get this medication. I think it's a derivative of stem cell research. Anyway, it's called Remicade. It's a mouse protein that's piggybacked on some sort of retrovirus thing to make my Crohn's disease sort of stop in its tracks and not do anything. And it works. It's for the last 11 years, it's managed to keep everything the Crohn's disease was doing at bay. Still not 100% healthy because I can't actually work a full-time job, which sucks ass. I really wish I didn't have to live on government funding, but at least I live in Canada, and in Canada it's not so bad. Being a bum in Canada ain't the worst thing on earth. There are other places on the planet where you could be poor, and it's a lot shittier. So don't take it like I'm complaining that I'm on welfare. Welfare sucks. It's never enough money no matter where you are. But living in Canada and being on employment income assistance for disability, not so bad. It could be better. It's definitely not enough money. I run out of cash about 2 weeks before the end of the month. So I start running out of food and grocery like garbage bags, food, transportation funds, everything. Cut short about 2 weeks before the month's over. If the government could manage to afford to throw an extra $500 at disabled people and stop demanding that they fill out a shitload of forms all the time, the disabled people would probably get a bit healthier and actually manage to maybe get the fuck off welfare. But it sort of seems, from my perspective, after like a really long time, it seems that the system's kind of not set up that way. Once you're on it, you're pretty much stuck on it, and they don't really give you much help to get off it. Especially the kind of financial help a person actually needs to get the shit out of like the rut and back up onto the street kind of thing, if you follow the analogy. Yeah, it doesn't really work. But aside from that, most things are good. Today's supposed to be a beautiful fucking day in Winnipeg today. I think the high is supposed to be 25 or some crazy shit and mainly sunny. So definitely going to be getting off my ass at some point, motivating myself to get up and go wander around with my phone camera, because my little GoPro, I still haven't quite figured out how to mount it to my jacket so it points forward. So far I've tried twice now, and both times one time I got like a nice long video, but it was basically just my feet in the sidewalk for like a half an hour. So that doesn't work. Who wants to stare at the tips of my shoes for a half an hour? I don't. I didn't want to review a half an hour of watching my feet walk down a sidewalk, but I did it because I wanted to see what the camera captured and whatnot. The camera does have good video though, like the HD quality is sweet. It's really nice, clear picture. It doesn't jerk about when you move, like when you move left or right or up and down. It's not doing that fucking jerky shit that some webcams do and stuff. So that's a good thing. I like that part. So I just got to figure out how to properly set it on my shoulder so that it stays facing forward and not flopping around. Yeah, once I figure that out, then I'll have video from that too. But my camera phone is not too bad. My video on my camera phone is pretty clear. It's got nice definition. It's just a really small little, rectangular thingy of whatever, and I can only do either I can videotape me rambling on about whatever the fuck I ramble on about. Fuck, I talk about everything. I ramble on about insane amounts of shit, and I jump all over the place. Word of warning, if this is the first time you're watching any of my videos, you're not going to be able to keep track of what the fuck I'm talking about, because I'm going to start at one topic, and by the time I'm done talking, I will have talked about maybe 50, 60 different topics all in one video. Maybe one day I'll get nerdy and start scripting shit out and going, well, today I'm going to talk about just this, and then write out what I'm going to talk about. But from my perspective, that seems pretty boring and not very on the fly. When I do things this way, who knows what the fuck's going to come out of my mouth? And who knows what the fuck I'm going to say? Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to say before I say it. So there's that, right? You know, surprise. I like having surprise. I like to be surprised. Well, with good things. Fuck that. I hate having shitty surprises come along. And I was like, oh, great. Another fucking shitty thing to deal with. Fuck. But you deal with it and you move on. That's just the way life is. Shit happens and you fucking move on, man. You don't linger on it. You know, like everything. Like I got Crohn's disease when I was 13, man. I've had it for like 30, 33 years, 34 years. I don't know. I'm 47. I was 13. So that's most of my life I've had this disease that's, for a lack of a better term, it fucked my life right up. Like it gave me no opportunity to have a job. I was barely able to complete any of the schooling I did. I had to do most of it online and with tutors because I just couldn't be in class. I was too fucking sick all the time. Up until 2006, 2007, I was in and out of the hospital all the fucking time. There was just never any room for me to work because I was constantly being poked and prodded by doctors in the hospital, or I was just getting out of the hospital, lying in a bed, barely able to move from pain. So, yeah, it kind of fucked my life pretty good. And that's no one's fault. That's just, that's just luck of the universe, man. The universe just happened to deal me that card. But it dealt me that card because it knew I would be the kind of person that could cope with it. I would be able to live a happy life and I would be able to get above and beyond the illness itself and still be a good, happy, positive person, which I am for the most part. I have a lot of things that I don't like. There are shitloads of things in our society that I do not like and that I don't agree with. There's one thing I don't do, though. There aren't many things I hate. Hate is a very powerful word connected to some very powerful emotions. When you say, I hate this, what you're actually saying is, I want to destroy it. I want to make it no longer exist. I want to erase it from existence. I want to kill it. I want it dead. I want it gone, obliterated, in oblivion. That's hate. Hate is destruction. Hate means you want to kill whatever it is so that it doesn't exist anymore. That's hatred. That's hate. So when you hate someone or something, you want it to no longer exist. So there isn't really anything I hate. Nothing except for money and government. I hate those two things. And I only hate those two things because they don't do what they could be doing. A government could be doing wonderful things for the people in its country. The money that we created to make things more balanced again. I don't really know why they created money other than to control people, but there's obviously other reasons that money exists. And in some situations, that form of whatever the fuck it is kind of does work in some ways. I still don't agree with it. It holds way too, it prevents way more than it does nowadays. It's the government's prime reason for not switching to more safer and more intelligent forms of energy resources, specifically solar and wind power. Those have been around for a while. They're proven to be effective forms of energy collection, and there's virtually no bad side effect to the environment other than taking up a little bit of space in a farm field. You know what I mean? Like you plant them throughout Canada on the outskirts of farms and in the middle of fucking nowhere. They're not going to bother anybody, and they're going to collect enough energy where we could be selling it to other countries. So I just don't get it. Like solar energy itself is virtually infinite. Our sun's not due to go supernova for billions of years. So that's billions of years of free fucking energy just sitting at the center of our solar system, waiting for us to utilize it. But what does the government say? Well, the change from what we're currently using to a system that works on solar power and wind power would cost far too much money. What's money doing? Is money actually being a benefit there, or is the government using it as an excuse to prevent something good? I think it's using it as an excuse to prevent something good. Because if everybody under the sun had solar panels attached to their house and shit, Why would they have to pay the government for electricity anymore? They own their own solar panels. They're collecting their own solar energy. You can't regulate solar radiation coming from the sun to somebody's privately owned solar panel, right? And there's no law saying you can't buy solar panels of your own and set them up and use them. No laws against that. So why don't people get off their ass and say, well, if the government's not going to do it, I have a bit of extra money. I'm going to fucking do it. I own 1.5 acres of land. I'm not farming anything. I'm just, I just got this nice big plot of property that I like to enjoy. I have a nice swimming pool. Why don't I take that back corner of my property, that back 1/4 of an acre, and just fill it full of solar panels and stick a windmill up the middle of it? Well, there you go. Your whole entire property. You never have to pay the government again for any energy use you use. Any of the energy use you use, it's all yours for free because you're sucking it right out of the air and right out of the atmosphere. And you could have a nice big fucking battery attached to all of that. So the energy you're not using but still collecting gets stored in that battery. And guess what? That extra stored energy that you don't need, that you're collecting still, you can sell that to the government and you can make money that way. And that starts proving to the government that they're doing it wrong, that they're missing out on the new cash cow, because solar energy is infinite. We will always have solar radiation bombarding our planet from the sun. So why don't we just take advantage of that? Well, it's too expensive, the government says. It costs too much money to convert to all that stuff. I really don't believe that. That's the rich 5% of the world who have made trillions of dollars off of oil and oil products. And that's why the governments are reserved and giving in this bullshit idea that converting is too expensive and all this other garbage fucking shit they spew out at you. It's because that 5% of the population that owns everything, they have all the fucking money in the world and they own everything, and don't think they don't exist. They fucking do. It's a scientifically proven fact. They do exist. There are 5 families on this planet that own everything. They have all the money and they own everything via sub businesses, and it all trickles down. But when you chase the money path, when you track the money, it all goes back to 5 major mass corporations owned by 5 families. And those 5 families own everything on the planet. Those are the people that don't want us using solar power or wind power, because then their cash cow goes away and their infinitely ludicrous bank accounts start dwindling. And that's when you have problems. That's why the world turns the way it is now, is because those people are still trying to squeeze blood out of a stone that doesn't have any more blood to give. They're flogging a dead horse and they're trying to continue something that's already died. Their ideology of how life, the universe works has died. It doesn't work that way. There isn't enough money on the planet for them to keep trying to suck it out of the planet. There aren't enough people willing to work their life away for some stranger they don't know. It's ridiculous. Who wants to spend their entire life working a job they fucking hate? And I mean hate, because they want that job in oblivion. They don't want that job to exist. That's how much they dislike their job. They would rather have it just not be around no more. Why would somebody want to spend their entire life doing a job they can't stand, living a life that depresses the hell out of them because of the job they do that they don't like, getting stuck in situations that drive them crazy, clinging to things that are long since over and gone? And why not just let go? Why not just turn to your boss, your owner of your boss, and say, why are you paying me such little amount of money when you're sitting in the fucking Caribbean all year round? Why do you get to sit in the Caribbean all year round, do fucking nothing, and I'm busting my ass off for a pittance of a wage? I don't get any fucking special coverage anymore. There's no bonuses anymore. There's just my fucking pissant wage and work my ass off. And you fuckers go get to sit on some fucking island and get a tan and drink fucking fruity drinks with umbrellas in them. whatever the fuck. I don't know. There's very few super wealthy people out there that even have an idea of what real life is like. And this is like the third time I brought this shit up in these videos. It's really important to me that people start realizing with their eyes and with their mind that this doesn't have to be this way. It's only this way because we've been taught and told that this is the way it is. This was just created by a bunch of fucking humans. A bunch of human beings decided this is the way they wanted things to be, and they forced it upon everyone else with big sticks and knives and guns and shit. It's not real. This isn't true human life. This is us living life under duress because if we don't, we go to jail, we get shot. In some countries, they just chop your fucking head off and throw you in a ditch if you say anything against the status quo. At least I live in North America and I can say whatever the fuck I want about how shitty the fucking people are on this planet. A good portion of the people on this planet are fucking shitty, vile people that really don't deserve the air they breathe. They really don't. They hurt people, they kill people, they rape, they pillage, they maim, they fucking steal. They'll do anything they fucking can to get money. Anything. They don't give a shit. They'll sell their children, they'll sell their grandmother, they'll sell their mother, they'll sell their whole fucking family to some rich piece of shit just to get a piece of that pie. It's disgusting. And that's what this little group of wealthy fucking cocksuckers have created. They've created a world filled with humans that lust and greed for nothing but money. That's all their life is about. Chasing after the money god. And that's a waste of your life, man. There are so many other things to experience on this planet that are beautiful and wonderful and don't cost a fucking dime. And they're beautiful things to go experience. I don't understand why people would waste their life fucking chasing after an imaginary concept that just causes more problems than it's worth. And yes, it's not that I'm saying money doesn't do good things. Yes, money can give people the ability to help others and all that kind of shit. But the end all be all of everything is the main reason why our world is suffering and our environment is dying is because the wealthy don't want to let go of oil and the oil products that they create with it, right? And just because I'm saying we can't burn petroleum products anymore doesn't mean we still can't use oil, or we use oil to make fucking prescription medications and chemicals and other things. We can still make that shit. We just can't burn carbon fuels anymore. We can't make things that are going to create nasty waste into the atmosphere. And oil is one thing. When you burn it, it creates a nasty fucking amount of shit in the air. That's why we have so much problems, because all of our vehicles run off of a petroleum-based gasoline. When you burn that gasoline, you're pumping the shittiest shit you could possibly pump into the atmosphere. Hence why I've decided that no, I don't want a car. If I want a car, I want an electric car. And no, I don't give a shit that I can't do 120 kilometers an hour. I don't give a shit that I can't race the Indy 500 in my fucking little electric car. I don't need to be doing Mach 6 in a fucking city. 30 clicks, 40 clicks, that's plenty for city driving. You don't need more than 60 kilometers an hour inside a city. And an electric car can do that no problem. So we don't need these fucking huge, big monster trucks with these like huge gas guzzling fucking engines. We don't need any of that shit. That's just society fucking doing what they always do. Here, look at this. It's really awesome. You must buy it. Spend, spend, spend. Consume, consume, consume. Obey, obey, obey. Be a good little sheeple. Buy your big fucking truck. Help destroy the earth. Make it livable for a different species of being that aren't us. Ever think of that? Maybe that little UFO that didn't crash in Roswell, well, maybe it fucking did. And maybe there were some fucking really intelligent, really advanced alien beings in there. And they got a hold of the government in the United States and told them, you do this to your planet, or we're going to come in an armada and kill everyone real fucking fast. But if you do it our way, we'll make you rich and powerful for a very long time. And then we'll take you with us. Wink, wink. They ain't taking nobody with them. They just want our resources. and we're helping them get them. And our planet is dying in the process. So when it can't sustain our life form anymore, guess who moves in? The species who gave those rich fuckers all that fucking money and all that power. And they're all fucking dead now because we're all dead. Every human being on the planet is dead because we can't breathe on this planet no more. And this new species that can breathe our new atmosphere move right in and make this their home. And they invaded our planet, took us over, and they didn't even have to fire a bomb or a phaser or a laser or anything. All they had to do is come and tell a few certain dumbasses on our planet, give them some money and power, and poof, they bought themselves a planet and eradicated a species without lifting a finger, barely. That's how fucking horrible our society is right now. That's what kind of people live in our society. They would sell out their whole fucking planet for one lifetime of wealth, riches, and power. They would sell us out, the whole fucking planet, for that. And that's disgusting. That's a disgusting way to think. That's a disgusting way to behave. It's a horrible thing to do. People really got to stop that shit, man. They really do. And me, I got to stop thinking about this shit because I'm just one dude all by my fucking self. And there's no way in hell I'm ever going to change a planetary perspective. A perspective that is ingrained in the brains of almost every human being walking on the planet. They all think this is normal. They all think this is good. They all think this is the right way to do things. Most people think I'm absolutely fucking crazy for the things I think. But I think our world is working exactly opposite the way it should. Everything should be the exact opposite. There shouldn't be any governments. There should be one government, one ruling class over the planet of Earth. And that's a group of 15 to 12 people. Kind of like the way Israel does it, the group of 10. If 9 people agree with one path, the 10th person has to take the opposite and opposing side to what the other 9 think. You know what I mean? Like that way you've always got a different path, a different perspective. There's always a plan B. Even better, you set that group of 12 into 3 groups. Group A has one perspective, group B has to take another. Group C has to take a perspective that's opposite of group B and A. Then those 3 groups get together, discuss the situation, and maybe they might actually come up with something that's proper. But there's no paycheck involved in that job. You want proper government? You want proper politicians? Take away the paycheck. Make them do it as a volunteer. Turn it into a volunteer position. You want to be the Prime Minister of Canada? Well, that's fine. Put your name down on the volunteer list. You'll get to be the Prime Minister for 4 years as a volunteer position. When you're done, the next person takes your place. That way, there's always a fresh perspective in government. There's always a new direction. And it's not a job they're getting paid for. So if they're the kind of person that wants to make bank, that's the last fucking thing they're going to do is try to volunteer to be the leader of a country. So the people who actually volunteer for that job are people who truly mean well and are actually interested in doing something good for the whole of the country, not just their bank account. And in our day and age, politicians become politicians because it's better than winning the lottery. They get paid salaries that are insane, anywhere from $110,000 a year to $210,000 a year. Fucking Stephen Harper was making $310,000 a year to be a neo-Nazi prick and fuck Canada up for the next 20 years. You think Justin Harper's doing a bad job? It's the same shit that happened to Obama in the States. Obama didn't do a bad job. He had to clean up fucking George Bush Jr.'s fucked up mess. George Bush Jr. fucked up that country. And Barack Obama had to clean up his mess. That's why they elected him. He was the scapegoat. That way they could blame everything on Barack Obama and say he's not doing his job. He's being a shitty president, blah, 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 blah. No, he had to clean up the insane, ridiculous fucking mess that George Bush Jr. created. And George Bush Jr. is a fucking moron. He's just about as bad as Daffy Duck that they've got in power down there now. I can't fucking believe they elected Donald fuck Duck Trump. What an idiot. The guy doesn't even know what Canada is. He thought that America actually owned Canada and that we bought Canada from them. What a fucking moron, man. He doesn't remember the wars of 1816 or 1812 when Canada virtually flattened the United States with the help of England. We virtually took America right down to fucking Texas. We burnt the White House to the ground. We kicked the living shit out of the Americans. Canada did, because the Americans tried to invade us. They forgot one thing. We still have England on our side. We had all of the First Nations people on our side because we didn't fucking kill them and send them into the ocean. We tried to live with them. We just made some stupid mistakes like bringing smallpox with us. And yes, we committed some atrocities because we're white people and we're assholes and we do stupid shit like that when we colonize places. But when America tried to invade Canada, they got way more than they fucking could handle. And if they tried to do it today, they'd get the same fucking thing. Canadians are polite people. We don't like conflict. We're not a warring country. But you come onto our land and come into our country and try to tell us what the fuck to do, you're gonna have a lot of problems. Because it ain't gonna be the military you're fighting. You're gonna be fighting the military and you're gonna be fighting the civilians. You're gonna be fighting the whole fucking country, not just soldiers. And you can't nuke Canada because if you nuked us, you'd be nuking your own territory too, because the radiation would just float down into the United States and you'd all be fucking dead. So you can't nuke Canada. And you're like big bombs. Can't use those either because that makes Canada useless to you. You want the land intact. So we would have to give you our country with our own free will. And if any of our leaders ever even thought to do that, they wouldn't be our leader for very long. Yes, Canadians are very polite. We're well known for being nice people, but do not fucking piss us off. Just ask the Nazis in World War II what Canadian soldiers were called. And guess what the Nazis would do when they saw a bunch of Canadian soldiers walking up a hillside towards them? Just study your history, man. The Canadians were feared by the Nazis. Whole platoons of Nazis would see a squad of Canadian soldiers walking up a hill or a trail and they would fucking bugger off. They would retreat. They would ditch their post and run away. You want to know why? Because the Canadian stormtroopers, the Canadian military, were well known for being, we got to take that hill. They just kept fucking going. They never stopped until that hill belonged to them, until that area was theirs. And the Nazis learned this. They were terrified. The Canadians are coming this way. We better get the fuck out of the way. Because in World War II, we were a much different country than we are now. Now, a lot of our leaders have been like, no, 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 it's not our fight. Let's just stay out of it. And I kind of agree with that. Because if they ain't attacking our country, it's not our fight. It's not our fight. What the Americans do, that's called butting their nose in to other people's business and saying, we're America. We know what's right, so do it this way. America has no fucking right to be putting any of their troops anywhere on the fucking planet. They're the whole reason why ISIS exists. They're the whole reason why fucking terrorists exist. They kept, all through the 80s, they kept going into these small little countries in the background, feeding them weapons with their Cold War with Russia, and then they would pull out, and these little countries had all this fucking weaponry and all these guns and all this shit the Americans left behind and this power vacuum as well. What did they expect? Fast forward 30 years later, of course, we've got this gigantic terrorist group called ISIS now. It's all because of what George Bush Jr. did in Afghanistan, or in Iraq, I should say. In Iraq, he went there, he totaled the fucking country, he illegally executed a leader. The man they were actually after was Saddam Hussein's son. He was the psycho, inhumane, crazy motherfucker with all the bad shit that Saddam Hussein was being accused of. He didn't find out his son was doing that shit until America invaded. And he even made a world press whatever on the news about how he had no fucking idea that his son was that insane, and his son was immediately arrested, put into a Iraqi jail. And that's where the Americans found him, in a fucking Iraqi jail. Saddam Hussein was nowhere to be found. The poor fucking old man was living in a goddamn hole in the middle of the fucking desert. drag him out of the hole, and instead of executing him where he was rightfully supposed to be executed, in his own country by his own people, they took him to Cuba and they hung him on live TV. Fucking sick. That is a crime. That is a war crime. That is illegal. What America did to Iraq is illegal because America has been slant drilling into Iraq from Kuwait for a long fucking time. And Saddam Hussein found out about it. And that's why that whole fucking conflict happened. Do your research, look into your history, watch what the Americans have been doing. Halliburton has been stealing oil from Iraq for a long fucking time. I don't know if it's Halliburton, the company for sure, but there are oil platforms in Kuwait right next to the Iraqi border. What the fuck do you think they're doing there? There's no oil deposits underneath those oil rigs. They slant drill sideways underneath Iraq to pull the oil out from Iraq without Iraq knowing. But Iraq found out. That's why Saddam Hussein got mad. He had right to. America was stealing from them. But that's not anything that's going to get in the papers, which is why America attacked Iraq and flattened them, because the victors write the history. So the real story doesn't actually get told. The American story gets told. And I have a lot of American friends. American people, I like a lot of them. I like a lot of them. They're good people, just like any other people in any other place. It's the government policy I don't like. American politics is bullshit. They're assholes. The American political system is filled with a bunch of fucking warmongering, planet controlling Hitlers. They want to do what Hitler tried to do. And they took a lesson from what Hitler tried to do and decided, well, that's the wrong way to do it because we'll just get stopped by the rest of the world. So maybe we should try to pretend we're the good guy and keep doing it that way. And if you think about it, they kind of succeeded, because the world kind of looks at America as the world police. Oh no, something bad's going on. I bet you the Americans are going to come and save us. What a bunch of bullshit. If the Americans had just paid attention to their own fucking country right from the get-go and not paid attention to trying to claim territory outside of America, they probably would have been a much better off country right now. And the world would probably be in a much better state, and there'd be a lot more intercommunication between different parts of the country, different parts of the planet. Instead, America decided to place itself as world police and send their poor teenage boys all over the fucking world to kill strange people they don't know for no valid reason, because those people are not attacking America in any way, shape, or form. Verbally, maybe, but I don't see no bombs blowing up in the United States. I don't see no insurgents running around the streets of America shooting people. I don't see no war happening in the United States. I don't see no foreign invaders in their territory shooting anybody, blowing anything up, or staking claim to any territory. So technically, America's not at war with anyone. So technically, America has no business being anywhere else but in America. And that other organization they have, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, that is an agency that has no jurisdiction in its own country. It's an American agency, but they can't investigate anything in America. Their job is to investigate every other country on the planet. And they have legal right to do so. How the fuck does that work? If a CIA officer came into Canada and told me I was under arrest, I would break his fucking jaw, kick him in the fucking nuts, and tell him to go back over the other side of the border where he fucking lives. Because CIA, they don't got no fucking right to my fucking life. I'm not part of their country. I don't agree with their laws. I don't agree with their politics. So any official agency from the United States coming into my country to tell me who I am, and I say my country because somebody else cut the border and put the fucking piece of pie here, so I'm not going to argue with it. But I live here. This is my place where I live, where I was born. No authority from any other part of the world is going to come here and tell me what the fuck to do. Especially the Central Intelligence Agency, the FBI, any of those cocksuckers. Fuck you. I ain't breaking no laws. I ain't done nothing illegal. You don't have no right in my country. And as far as I'm concerned, in Canada, any American authority has no authority in Canada. They're not Canadian. They weren't born here. They weren't given their power here. They were not given their badge here. They have no authority here. The only people who have authority here are the people that we gave permission to give authority to. So our politicians, whether or not they're good guys or not, because I don't really think they are, but our policing agencies, they have authority. I'll listen to them. I'll do what they have to say. If they tell me I've done something, I'll be cooperative and help them as best I can. But if an American comes up here, flashes a badge at me and says he's an American, whatever the fuck, I'll tell him to fucking turn around and hope the door don't hit him. And I'll say, make sure the fucking door hits you on the ass on the way out. Go get a Canadian police officer, go get a Canadian something and bring them over here and have them tell me the same thing you're telling me. You're an American. You have no authority in my country. None. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. The CIA, the FBI, American police forces, any of that shit. They don't have any fucking authority here. And if they ever came here and tried to push authority here, I would push back. Guaranteed, I would find as many people as I could and I would push back. No fucking way is America going to come in here and tell me what the fuck to do. I don't like their politics. I don't like the way they treat the rest of the world. I don't like the way they treat their own fucking people. I do not like American politics. I would like the American political system to be wiped off the face of the earth and be left to the history books. Because it's the worst fucking country on earth. It's the worst political system on earth. It's solely based on money. There is no limit to what capitalism will do in that country. And they're all about the dollar signs and power. I'm talking about politics, not people, politics. So yeah, I have no interest in any of that crap. If they came up here and tried to tell me what the fuck to do, I would just be shoving them back over the fucking border. They are not my brothers, the American government. They are not anything like me. They do not think anything like me. And they seem to believe they have governorship over planet Earth. They don't. Planet Earth doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to anyone. Planet Earth is not property. It's a living, breathing organism. You cannot own life. You can't own a life. You can't purchase a life. You can't claim a life to be your property. And Earth is alive. So it's no one's property. It was gracious enough to create an environment for us to live in. So it's really rude of us to be doing what we're doing to it. You know what I mean? And on that note, I'm going to take it to a lighter place because I want to go out and have fun. I don't want to be talking about this fucking politics shit. It's boring as hell. And it's redundant anyway. Nobody's going to change nothing because everybody fucking wants money. And as long as they think they can get paid, they're going to keep doing what they're doing. Yeah. So, with that being said, I'm going to smoke a big fucking joint. Fatty. Big, fat fucking blunt. Smoke that to my head. And then I'm going to, shit shower and shave and get the fuck out of my house. Because sitting in here is boring as shit. Yeah. And one of these days, you guys are going to get one of my goofy, silly, fun videos. But right now, I'm just all bogged down with this fucking world shit that's going on. You got Donald Duck in the United States threatening to drop bombs on Syria. You got the Russian guy saying, if you drop bombs on Syria, we're going to drop bombs on you. Well, do it then. Get to it, buddies. If you guys start dropping bombs on each other, I just hope Canada stays out and just sits on the sideline and goes, finally, these two countries are going to kill each other so we don't have to deal with them anymore. It'd be nice, I feel sorry for the people in those two countries because they're collateral damage and they're innocent. But it would be nice if the Russian and the American, governments got into a ring and killed each other, and then Russia and America's people could actually create something good out of those two countries. Because what you've got coming out of the United States right now is nothing but garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. It's all brain candy. It's all meant to brainwash you into chasing after the almighty dollar and obeying anything you're told. It's garbage. It's just crap. Fuck, Hollywood's been fucking re-releasing movies for the last 2 decades. They've been taking old movies from the 60s and 70s and redoing them with the modern technology, and everybody's been going, woo, wow, wonderful movies. No, they're fucking rewrites, man. It's called a reboot, a redo. They're just redoing them over. It ain't that grand. The special effects are fucking awesome. I will give them that. But for original sci-fi stories, original horror stories, original anything, good fucking luck. They're not pulling out anything brand new. There are no new great filmmakers coming out like George A. Romero, the father of the zombie fucking genre. He created something that turned into a cult classic that spanned almost 50 years now. And they're still making good zombie movies. Again, of course, some of them are remakes of older zombie movies, but they're coming out with TV shows and fresh ideas with fresh new plot lines, not the same old, same old. You know, Star Trek's a good example. Star Wars, another good example. Sure, I agree, they're good movies. The special effects are all right. The new Star Wars movies, I'm kind of finding that Disney is fucking them up a little bit. Kylo Ren's lightsaber, the fuck good is a lightsaber with two laser beams coming out the side of it? If you tried to spin it once, you cut your own fucking hand off. Like that's the stupid thing, the Jedi lightsaber ninja fighting thing. Kylo Ren's sword is a old fucking like Dark Ages Knights double-handed broadsword. You can't do ninja shit with that. You can just swing it back and forth. Because if you tried to spin it around once or do some kind of funky laser sword spinning with that thing, you'd have no hands. Your hands would, you cut your own fucking hands off with that thing, or you'd stab yourself somewhere, you'd slice yourself somewhere with it. That sword was a real stupid fucking design. They should have just kept it a regular fucking Jedi sword with a red fucking blade. They didn't need the two little extra bits sticking out this way. That was dumb. That was a bad design. It broke my suspension of disbelief because unfortunately I'm too much of a nerd, and I just looked at the physics of how they'd swing that thing around while they're fighting and stuff, and he'd be cutting himself up more than he'd be cutting the enemy up with those two little extra bits sticking up the side. That's just a stupid lightsaber. Yeah, and that's really about my only complaint with that movie. Well, and it's sad that Han Solo died. That was kind of sad, but whatever. Spoiler if you haven't seen it. Oh well, too bad. They're already into the second movie of that group now anyway, so if you didn't know, you should have. Whatever. But that's what I mean. Nothing new is happening. Humanity has stagnated. We depend on technologies and we've stopped relying on this in here. This in here is a more potent, more powerful, and more intelligent computer than the thing I'm fucking staring at right now. Than any of the technology we got. Our minds are far more advanced and far more technologically capable than they're being, because we're being blindsided, and we're being, I don't want to say repressed because it sounds too but we're being quelled by technology. We're being handed toys to keep our minds off of what's really actually important. We're being handed bubblegum TV to keep our minds off of what's actually important. And the most important thing, balance. Every human being has to have a perfect balance of darkness and light. You can't have one without the other. If you're all light, you're going to burn out real quick. If you're all darkness, you're going to create murder and pain and suffering and hell and torment. And it's also going to be in you. You're going to be in hell and torment and in pain. But if you find that balance, yin and yang, black and white, negative, positive, if you find that balance between the two, your life will move smoothly. You will be able to defend yourself when you need to, and you will have the intellect and the kindness to back away when you don't have to. And that is a balanced human being. And the whole entire universe operates on that system. Balance. A balance between negative and positive energy everywhere. So try to live a life of balance and try to make the world around you live in balance with each other and with itself. If we could find that, and if we could achieve that again, because we once had it, we were once a very balanced, very unified species on this planet. Something happened a long time ago that changed all that. We learned how to fight and kill each other and shit, which is sad. But I'm bored of talking on the computer now, and I haven't said anything I haven't already said in the other 5 fucking videos I've said. Like I said, these are gonna be pretty repetitious for a while until I get out of this mindset. I'm just really pissed off at the world at the moment. It's not really, I don't know, for the longest time I've been looking in and watching what the world theater has been doing, and it just doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand. It doesn't relate to what seems to be productive to me. You know, what would be the right thing to do and how to do it in an efficient and safe way for the whole planet. Because when I think of stuff, I don't think of just Canada. I'm not thinking of just me. When I want things to improve, I'm thinking the whole population of the whole fucking planet. Everybody on the planet. The whole planet. Because we're all earthlings and this is our home. We live here. We all do. So it would just make logical and rational sense that we unify as a species and explore other planets, other places. Find a way to explore the bottom of our ocean. We've never seen that. There's so much freaking weight down there. We haven't been able to get anything down there to explore it. It gets crushed. So maybe we should figure out how to go and explore the bottom of our ocean. For all we know, there's another intelligent species of life living down there that we've never seen before. We don't know. We've never been there. We should be doing things like that. If you got to spend money, spend money on improving humanity, improving humans, improving our lives, everyone's lives, not just rich people's lives, but everyone's lives. Improving everything for everyone equally. Balance between everything. Yeah, well, it's a nice dream. It's a nice thought. It ain't ever going to happen in my lifetime. This is the world I get to see until I die. And this is the world I will live in when I die. And when I'm dying, it's probably going to be worse than it is now. And yeah, that ain't that far away. Maybe 40, 50 years from now, and I'll be gone. And that's, yeah, the world will be in a way worse place than it is now by then. Yeah. Unless we smarten the fuck up, stop fighting with each other, unify as a species, and take control of our world back from the filthy rich money mongers who want to kill everything and make as much money as they can and don't really give a flying fuck if there's a planet here 50 years from now. Because that's the problem. They just want all the money and power. They don't really give a flying fuck what happens to the planet after their lifespan or their children's lifespan. And that's another thing people have got to stop doing. You have to think of life after you're gone, because people will still be living here. This planet will still exist. And hopefully, there will still be humans here. So while you're alive, you have to keep in mind that it's not just about your lifespan, it's about the generations that come after you as well. Don't just think about your own lifespan and that of your children and your grandchildren. Think of their children and their children's children and their children's 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 children, right? Your family extends a hell of a lot farther than just the children you're going to meet. Because after you're dead, your genealogy carries on and your family keeps growing. So, if you only maintain the earth for as long as you and your immediate family are alive and you don't give a shit about the world after that, where's your grandchildren's children going to live? Right? Unity of humanity is the key to making our species evolve and move forward in life, the universe, and everything. The way we're doing it now, we're all going to die. We're all going to die with slow, horrible, painful deaths because we're going to asphyxiate on our own planet. We won't be able to breathe here. So let's put a stop to that before it's too late. And on a funny note, these 3 nuns go in for confession. The first nun walks up to the priest and says, "Dear father, for I have sinned. I have seen a man's private spot." So the father looks at the nun and goes, "Say so many Hail Marys and, wash your eyes with holy water." So she goes out. Second nun goes in and she's like, "Oh, father, for I have sinned. I have touched a man's private spot." So, priest looks at her and goes, "Okay, say so many Hail Marys and go wash your hands with holy water." Third nun goes in, comes out, and goes, "Move over, girls. I got to gargle." Have fun. That's a really shitty joke, but whatever. I thought it was funny. Have a good day, guys. Peace out. Much love to all compassionate life in the universe, and let's start trying to get along with each other instead of fighting all the time. We don't need to be fighting all the time. We need to be unified with each other so that we can make a better world and hopefully find other ones. Maybe meet some other beings that live out there, because they do. We're not the only fucking planet in the entire cosmos where life happened and where it became sentient and intelligent. Well, I use the word intelligent with humans lightly. We're not that intelligent. We're still cavemen by the aspect of the universe. We're still pretty primitive, actually. We haven't even learned to stop killing each other yet, so we're pretty primitive. But there is other life out there, guaranteed. It's been here. So it's about time we started figuring out how to go there. And no, not to start wars, to make friends, just like Star Trek The Federation. Let's go out and make friends. Except, fuck the Prime Directive, motherfucker. If some ancient race is giving me grief, I'm gonna blow up their fucking planet. Fuck that. No, I'm kidding. I don't agree with the idea of meeting an ancient culture and hiding from them. Well, sure, study them from orbit, but don't ever land on their planet or nothing. But if it's a culture that can detect you but doesn't have the ability to fly great distances in space, fuck the Prime Directive. Go say hello. You know, just make sure they don't try to kill you. Science fiction's funny. Yeah. So have a good day, guys. Enjoy your Saturday, and yeah, I'll probably make another one of these retarded videos at some point because I ain't talking about shit. I'm just talking shit. What the fuck else is there to do? No one on this planet's actually going to listen to reason or rationality. They're all just going to chase money. So fetch, boy, fetch. Later.